Have you ever seen a single act of violence ripple across a city, dominate headlines, and even draw the attention of a U.S. president? That's exactly what happened in Charlotte, North Carolina, where 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Iryna Zarutska was tragically killed in an unprovoked attack on a light rail train. This wasn't just another headline. It was a life of courage, cut short in the place she hoped would be her sanctuary. Her story has rippled beyond Charlotte, capturing national attention and even drawing comment from a president. Today, we'll break down the chilling details of the incident, the federal charges against the suspect, the political fallout, and what this case reveals about justice, public safety, and the federal death penalty in America. What happened on that train is a stark reminder of life's fragility and the randomness of violence. But it also demands we ask, how do we protect the vulnerable? How do we make public spaces truly safe? Iryna's story now challenges us to confront these questions with honesty and compassion. On the night of the attack, Zarutska had just finished her shift at a Charlotte pizzeria and was riding the Lynx Blue Line home. Surveillance footage shows 34-year-old Decarlos Brown Jr. sitting behind her before allegedly pulling a knife and stabbing her multiple times. Witnesses immediately alerted authorities, and Brown was arrested moments later. Tragically, Zarutska was pronounced dead at the scene. Her family described her as a kind and hard-working woman who had survived the harsh conditions of a bomb shelter in Ukraine before moving to the United States in search of peace and safety. On that night, she had been texting her boyfriend, promising she'd be home soon. What should have been a normal evening turned into an unspeakable tragedy. Brown has now been federally charged with committing an act causing death on a mass transportation system. Because this occurred on public transit, federal prosecutors have jurisdiction, which opens the possibility of the death penalty. U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson described the attack as a terroristic act and confirmed direct communication with Zarutska's family. Brown's criminal record is extensive. Court records show larceny, breaking and entering, and a 5-year prison term for robbery with a dangerous weapon. In total, he has faced 14 prior charges, including a recent arrest earlier this year. His next court appearance is scheduled for September 19th, and it's still unclear whether he has retained legal counsel. Iryna's case is now a test of how our society responds to tragedy and systemic breakdown. The case has drawn high-profile political attention. President Donald Trump called Brown the animal on social media and demanded he receive the death penalty. Trump wrote, "The animal who so violently killed the beautiful young lady from Ukraine, who came to America searching for peace and safety, should be given a quick, there is no doubt, trial, and only awarded the death penalty. There can be no other option." This statement is consistent with Trump's history of advocating for the death penalty in high-profile federal cases. During his previous administration, Trump publicly called for capital punishment in multiple cases involving violent crimes against women and children. He also authorized the resumption of federal executions in 2020, marking the first federal executions in over 17 years, signaling a renewed focus on using the death penalty as a deterrent for violent offenders. The attack has sparked urgent questions about transit safety. At the time, Charlotte's light rail trains had no station security officers, relying on mobile patrols. In response, Mayor Vi Lyles announced immediate enhancements to transit security. U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy criticized the city's oversight, emphasizing the federal responsibility to ensure safe public transportation. Several North Carolina Republican lawmakers called the murder 100% preventable, and a wake-up call for both local authorities and transit agencies nationwide. A candlelight vigil in Zarutska's honor is scheduled for September 22nd. This case raises complex legal and policy issues. The federal jurisdiction angle allows the Department of Justice to pursue charges independently of local authorities, which can include the death penalty. The case also highlights ongoing debates over municipal responsibility and the protections afforded to riders on public transit. Zarutska's family has called for a full investigation into the systemic failures that allowed the attack to happen, noting that this could have been anyone riding the light rail that night. Advocates are also watching how federal prosecutors weigh capital punishment, which remains a contentious issue in the U.S. legal system. Beyond the political debates and legal maneuvers, this tragedy is deeply human. Iryna Zarutska was a young woman pursuing a new life in America, only to have that life cut short by a violent attack. Her story has sparked calls for justice, better public safety measures, and accountability for the systems meant to protect us. This case is a stark reminder of how violent crime intersects with politics and the justice system. Trump's public demand for the death penalty adds another layer of pressure and illustrates how high-profile cases can become national flashpoints. Federal prosecutors, local authorities, and the courts now face a delicate balancing act, delivering justice for the victim, ensuring public safety, and upholding due process for the accused. Cases like this also highlight larger debates about capital punishment in the U.S. Federal executions have been rare and politically charged, often sparking intense debate over morality, deterrence, and the risk of wrongful conviction. Brown's case could become another chapter in that ongoing national conversation. The fatal attack on Iryna Zarutska is a tragedy that touches on many layers of American life: public safety, criminal justice, federal authority, and political influence. As the investigation and trial unfold, the nation will be watching closely to see how justice is served and whether this case shapes broader conversations on crime, punishment, and protection of innocent lives. If this video helped you understand the case, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of legal stories, national news, and the events shaping our world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.